Hello, I'm Tricia of Tricia's Cards and Crafts, and my last video I showed you how to make some cards from Card Kit of Lots of Kindness. So I thought this time I'd try and make something to put some of those cards into. So I've got this, it's like a little folder tied with ribbon to put your thank you cards in, and I thought with these you could possibly make these and give them to people to say thanks to them, and then they can use them to say thanks to other people. So that was quite a nice little gift. Okay, so this is what we're going to make. I've used some papers, and I will be using papers for the next one as well, using some retired papers, but you can use any designer series papers or any pattern papers that you've got in your stash. Okay, but my papers from the new catalogue haven't arrived yet, so I can't use them. So here's how I made the card. Oh, the holder, card holder. Okay, I've got I used a sheet of, you only need just a sheet of card, and I've got a piece of I've lost it, a piece of bridal list card, because I thought they would go with the cards in the set. Okay, but you can use whatever cards you've got in your stash. I'm just going to trim this because you need to have a piece of card which is 11.5 by 8.25. You might not be able to see the whole thing. Oops. So 8.25. It's only a tiny little sliver of paper, but it will make a difference at the end. That's the one piece. As I said, tiny little sliver. I think I need to get some new blades for my trimmer. And 11.5. Again, it's not a lot, just a little bit to take off. It just makes everything else a little bit easier. Then on the long side you need to score I have got a template that I've made, white card. Here we go. Oops. Here we go. So this is what the final piece will look like. It's the same on both sides. So we're going to score here, leave 1/2 inch in the middle and another one. So it's 1.5 inches on either end. I have scored again at a quarter of an inch difference either side as well, and I've done the same thing on the edges so that there's room for the cards to go inside. But it's basically 1.5 inches on either side, 1/2 inch in the middle, 4 inches for those parts there, and then there's 1 3/8 of an inch on either side to make the the compartment so that it'll fold in. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So the first one we score on the long side at 1.5. You can use a scoring tool if you've got one, or with if you haven't got an actual scoreboard, you can use a ruler, and you'll just make the mark so that you know where you're scoring, but this makes it a lot easier. So it's 1.5, 5.5, 6, and 10. So that's quite easy on the long side. And then I just do it at 10 1/4 on the one side, and on the other side I'll just do it this side, and it'll be 1 1/4 on this side. Okay, so we've just got 1/4 of an inch either side there. That doesn't look very straight. Hang on, make sure that that is straight. Oh well, I think perhaps that one wasn't then. Yeah, that wasn't quite straight. There we go. And then on the other side we want it to be 1 3/8 of an inch, which is to there. And I'll just turn it round and do the same on the other side. There we go. Okay, so that's it all scored. Now for the bits we need to cut away. We need to get rid of these 4 corners and these bits in the middle, and then we'll also take an angle there and there. I also just miter the corners slightly on both sides there. So use the scissors. So I'll just cut at an angle here and here. Just cut it slightly. And again on this side. There we go. Same thing up here. There. Same thing here. And then what I did, tried to just cut at an angle here, and cut at an angle, similar sort of angle on the other side, and just cut that little piece out. Don't need that. Makes it a bit neater. There we go. And the same thing on this side. There we go. So that's what you're left with. Oops. And then you just need to, oh, I didn't do the 1/4 of an inch on this side. Hang on. Let's bring that in. Put that on 1 inch line. That's not right. That's a lot. Oh, I should have been 1 1/8. There we go. There we go. Let's see if that's right. And the same thing on this side. That'll do. If you can get that right, so it's just 1/4 of an inch on either side. And then if we just burnish these, you can use a bone folder. First, this one there. There we go. Same thing here. There we go. Now it's all burnished. There you go, and those will come over like that. And then you'll be able to put your cards in through there. Okay, oh, I didn't do the middle ones. Now, I find it easier if we actually do the decorating first. So, get a piece of the cards that I used to do this one, similar, and it's got the colours, similar colours in it to the cards. So we need 2 pieces, 3 3/4, and 1 inch. By 5 1/4. And 5 1/4. If you decide to use pattern paper that's got a directional pattern on, just be careful which way you do it so that you've got it the same way on both sides when you go to stick it down. Not that it matters because you won't see them both at the same time. And then this long 1 inch strip, also 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. Okay. The only other thing you need is a piece of ribbon. I'm using some white ribbon and I want a piece that's about 12 inches long. Oops, here we go. And although it's white, I'm going to colour it so that it'll match up, which is really great with white ribbon. You can, if you've got some white ribbon spare, you can colour it to match your papers that you use. And I'm not going to use pink, I'm going to use green because I think it'll look nice. And if you've got blender pens or alcohol markers, you can do it with felt pens, but it just takes longer to dry. You can just colour with alcohol ink pens. They do tend to dry off a lot quicker. Okay, and I'm just going to trim the end of that because it's gone a bit frayed. There we go. And I'm going to fold that in half and I'm going to cut it in half. There we go. So I've got 2 pieces about 6 inches long. The only other thing, there we go, that's okay. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is to stick down the ribbons. So I'm going to use a glue dot to stick them down with. This one. And this one. Just to hold them in place before I glue down the rest of the pieces. And so that I know that they're going to be opposite each other, just put put my ruler down, and then I know where I'm going to put them, so that they're in a line with each other. So it'll make it easier when you come to tie. Okay, so they're down. Now we can stick on the paper. Okay, so see if I can find, that looks, it's got a bit more glue in this one. Here we go. If it comes out, come on. No, doesn't want to come out. Let me just find. I haven't got a needle. Right, I'll use a different one. This one's okay. Here we go. This one's going to flood out. Try and use a bit more where the ribbon is. And I also put a little bit on the ribbon just to make sure that it's going to stick down. I'll put it that way. There we go. You've got your ribbon sticking out. There we go. Now for the other piece. A little bit on the ribbon. There we go. And we put this one down as well. There we go. And then just fold this back. Just crease it with your nail a little bit. Just hold it back. And I'm just going to trim off, just miter the ends slightly. Because I'd mitered the ends of the card, so then that'll fit on nicely. There we go. Whoops. Not straight. There we go. Okay, so now we stick these down. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background. My daughter's in her bedroom next door to my craft room watching some program on her television. There we go. And this one. And we're nearly done. Down here. There we go. Right, now this part is going to fold over here. Now it might be easier if we put the cards inside first, although we don't want to stick them to the cards, so we've got to be careful how we do this. So we've got this one there, bring that over there, and this one on this side. There we go. And I'm just going to add a small amount of glue to each side here. don't want to go too far over because I don't want it to go on the cards. Okay, so if you hold those into place, you bring that over, just hold it down for a few seconds just so that it catches. Don't want it to be too far over. There we go. There we are. And on this side, hold the sides so that they're where you want them to be. Bring the bottom over and hold it in place. Okay, and then you just bring them together and tie your ribbon. There we go. Now, if you want to, you can put a label on the front, a sentiment on the front, like I did on the other one. You just need, all I did was take, I think I might take some of this green card, and I cut about just want cut this end first. Cut. As long as that's straight, let me just make sure it is straight. There we go. There we are. And then I want about an 1.25 inches. So if I line it up on the 1.25 inches and just take that off, and I would do it about 3.5 inches. There we go. There we are. And a piece of white card, that'll do. And this one would be 3/4 inch. There we go. Actually, no, it was yes, it was an inch. No. I thought I did the other one. Right, let's try again. That's 1.25 inches, and they make this one 3.5 inches. You should, actually it's not, it's 3. The other one was 3.5, this one needs to be 3.25. There we go. So that fits inside, like that. And then use a stamp from the stamp set that we used with the kit, the thanks, and use some black ink. Here we go. Where's my black ink pad? Here we are. Just ink up sentiment. There we go. Aha, got it all over the stamp again, on the block again. And I don't want to get that on the card. So here we go. So we centre that. Usually I do it by eye. You could line it up with your grid paper if you need help that way. And there we go. Nice crisp image again. And then I'm going to stick this directly onto the mat. There we go. Over. There we are. And then I'm going to put it on with some do these. There we go. That should be plenty. Just take the backs off. There we go. And then we'll put this on the front, and there we go. We've got a nice thank you card holder, and it would be nice to give somebody as a gift. Okay, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you'll come back to see some more of my videos. Thanks. Bye bye.